One sunny afternoon, a mother took her 6-year-old daughter to a local hospital in Kano State because the daughter had been complaining of severe headache and fever. Upon getting to the hospital, the mother noticed new faces of white doctors. They took the baby from her and examined her and discovered that she had meningitis. After discovering this, the doctor notified the woman that they were going to treat the daughter free of charge. Being excited, they took the daughter to a particular room and gave her vaccine. After giving her the vaccine, the little girl came out barely unable to walk, and the mother complained, and they told the mother that she would feel better in some days. The mother did not know that the vaccine given to her daughter was an unapproved vaccine by the FDA, and her daughter was one of the 200 little children that were tested and used as guinea pig test for a vaccine that has not been approved in Nigeria. You see, in early 1996, a severe meningitis outbreak rocked Nigeria, an infection that caused inflammation of the brain, spinal cord lining, and spread through sneezing. As of March 4, 1996, the infection has spread to 12 states in Nigeria in the space of 6 months, leading to over 100 cases. It caused death in 1 of every 10 patients with the infection. It was the most severe pandemic in the illness ever recorded in Nigeria. The outbreak, which lasted over 3 months, saw the combined efforts of the National Task Force set up by the Nigerian Federal Ministry of Health with the World Health Organization and several non-governmental organizations to bring the pandemic under control. In addition to the International Task Force, 6 members research team from one of the world's largest research-based pharmaceutical company in the United States called Pfizer arrived in Kano at the time with an antibiotic drug called Trovan, expected to potentially treat meningitis, but not yet approved for the use or for treatment of children. The company administered a drug trial of Trovan and second drug called ceftriaxone, a standard treatment for meningitis to some 200 children. 101 children were administered with ceftriaxone, the gold standard for meningitis treatment. However, 5 of the children given Trovan vaccine died, along with 6 others that were given ceftriaxone, and many suffered brain damage. Others were paralyzed, and some even became deaf. In fact, Pfizer fired an employee after he warned the company before conducting the test that the vaccine is not ready yet and has not been approved by the US government and was not even approved by the Nigerian government. According to the report by the US Washington Post, an investigation committee was set up by the Nigerian Federal Government Ministry of Health on the clinical trial of Trovan by Pfizer in Nigeria, and it revealed that the local Nigerian doctor gave a backdated clearance to Pfizer. He gave Pfizer a forged approval to do the test in the country. At that time, the man was a doctor at a nearby teaching hospital in Kano State. In fact, the tragedy became popular that a movie was named out of it called The Constant Gardener, and it became one of the biggest movies at that particular era, winning 10 awards and also an Academy Award as well.
And the Oscar goes to Rachel Weisz, The Constant Gardener.
As a result of the increased public outcry, after 15 years, the federal government and Kano State filed a criminal and civil suit against Pfizer and 8 other people involved, asking for $7 billion in damages. They claim that the company has tested an unapproved experimental drug on children without informing the parents and seeking their consent or getting approval from the Nigerian government. Pfizer initially claimed that there was no regulation or law in Nigeria that required them to seek approval before administering any vaccine in the country, and therefore there was really no need for them to seek consent from the federal government of Nigeria at that particular time. But it was later discovered that the document Pfizer claimed to prove ethical approval by the Nigerian authorities for the trial was falsified and backdated. You see, according to a leaked document by WikiLeaks, Pfizer agreed to the Kano State Attorney General of settling offer of $75 million, including a $10 million payment for legal fees, $30 million for Kano State government, and $35 million for the participants and the families. Unknown to the public, according to a report by the Washington Post, Pfizer was accused of hiring a private investigator to investigate the then Attorney General of the Federation of Nigeria, who was in charge and the head of the committee, to find debts against him and corruption cases in order for him to drop the $7 billion lawsuit, which led to a preliminary settlement without informing the public. The Nigerian former Attorney General of Federation had been accused of corruption by the EFCC multiple times, and they applied pressure on him to drop the lawsuit against the company. As a result, the Attorney General of Nigeria dropped the initial $7 billion lawsuit against Pfizer. Now, Pfizer then recommended to the Attorney General that they will set up a $35 billion trust fund for the victim to be administered by a neutral third party, and for a $30 million for the Kano state government to be used to improve the health care of the state. 24 years later, Miriam, that little child that was taken to the hospital by her mother and was given the unapproved vaccine, was already 29 years of age and was among the 200 children whose life tragedy was changed by Pfizer during the drug fire. Later had difficulty in hearing. In fact, a reporter claimed that they had to repeat each word to her more than 4 times before he could hear him. She had lost her memory as she could not remember many of the events that happened in between the years. Till now, she's among the 186 people who had not been paid a dime by Pfizer or by the compensation committee set up by the Kano state government for the trauma and life-lasting illness caused by Pfizer. What do you think about this particular case? Do you think that the federal government should bring out the suit against Pfizer once again and institute an action? Let me see what you think in the comment below. Make sure you like this video, and make sure you comment on the description below, and make sure you subscribe to this video as well.